Marsha. Jan's the one that posted this, you wacko. I so thought I was done with this story, but then, like, as I went through this thing, they said that they got groped in front of an audience, in front of the parents, and this other thing, or he made them touch their butt, this whole thing. So there's an audience, right? So, I mean, there's security, there's a bunch of people around, and they were all fine with it. And Jan would be the one that was fine with it. And they go, why didn't they go to the police at the time? I'm like, well, how come you guys didn't protect a kid at the time? You guys watch that thing. No one's gonna, okay, first of all, when you're talking about the topic of children, um, they don't know to go to the police that because they think this is fine. UK, you're a hot mess. London, Kevin Spacey and his groping everybody up in there. Your rapist cops. So we know about your cops over there. We know everything about your cops. So even if they did, the cops would have raped you. I don't want to hear it. These comments in here, every time they put his stuff, like all of a sudden, when it's men on women and little girls, like this clan of people come out. But somebody did say, where to go? No wealthy man is safe. Inappropriate misconduct could mean anything. Okay, no. No wealthy man should be safe. They're the ones that have been sexually abusing everyone the whole time. And in order to get to that level of wealth, you have to be a real big pile of shit, let me tell you. I want to show something because a tail off of this because it was something I pulled up yesterday, I think it was. And it was sort of like, and how you guys were totally fine with it. See, I have to be the reminder of the history past. The history past. Hold on, I gotta go down. But I used to be a huge fan of this. I was a huge fan of Grease, just generally. And then 2 came out, and then I was a big fan of this. And there's some major bad stuff in this. And it was so normalized. So in this, kids were watching this. For whatever reason, parents thought this was fine. Kids could watch it. It's not that bad. Even though they had that, let's do it. Wasn't it do it for our country shit? I don't know. There was some weird shit in this one. Or it was in the other one. I don't even remember right now because who cares? But I was going through this and I go, yeah, it's really funky that the normalization is coming from stuff like this. And you'll completely forget it. You could have watched this thing 10 million times and you're like, is anything wrong with that movie? No, I don't remember anything wrong with it, right? Because you're just like, And I guess it gets glossed over. There's probably a couple of reasons why you overlook it. Because you're groomed. Number 1, because you're groomed. 2, you're so used to seeing it, it's just an everyday thing that's going on. Or 3, it was totally bad and you purposely just brushed it off when you were watching it. Because there was actually things like that where it was so atrocious that I was like, oh God. And then you just want to tune it out. So this thing here, and it's, you may think it's totally subtle, but it's like, okay, the background girls are basically like strippers. Like, they don't have any personality, nothing. They're just like these shadows in the background, right? And they're just kind of dancing. I'm going to mute this. They're kind of dancing around doing this kind of bullshit. And people will just be like, oh, look, sexual assault, sexual assault, sexual assault, sexual assault, chaser, sexual assault. Yeah. So I was like, there it is. And so, like, little kids, when they're watching this, they actually take this in of this dynamic, how men are with women, and then they think it's funny to go do sexual assault. And yeah, so he originally went to grab her butt. Playback speed on 25. And Adrian's, he's just the one watching it thinking it's funny. These are the characters in this thing. Okay, wait, we're going to go back to like right about there. So you think this is appropriate. So this is the type of stuff that David Copperfield did in front of an audience, but it was with a minor. But just generally, if you're okay with this conduct, even on an adult, you wouldn't have a problem with it on a kid. Sorry, guys, but this is a form of rape. It's called sexual assault. And so this is what happened. So this is in 82. and why David Copperfield was okay in 82, and they could do it right in front of an audience. This is for your viewing history and a memory. You're having a memory. I don't know. You're having amnesia. I don't know what the hell your problem is, public, but watch. Okay, so they come running up and he goes underneath the skirts. He's trying to grab them like that, like they're pretending right here, but then watch this. Then he tries to go for her butt. He goes right for her butt. Look at that. Right at her butt. And then he's all laughing. They're laughing. It's like, oh yeah. And then they're running away from them from getting assaulted. And so they're just watching, like these little boys are watching this shit going, yeah, we're supposed to chase the girls and try to grab their asses. And they're all laughing, right? So this is the normalization. Watch this right there too. And luckily she's the only one that's like, I'm out of here, dude. No one's touching me. So then he grabs her on the waist thing. They're laughing. And then, yeah, and they're like, oh. Yo, bro, we got those girls' butts, man. We chased them out of here. And, we're just the coolest shit in the fucking room, man. All this. And then, yeah, I don't think there was anything. Is he going to try to jam that up his butt? I was like, the broomstick thing. Parents did not care. When they saw PG, back then, parental guidance. That's what is the purpose of the parent being there when the kid is watching something and they're taking something in which they can't control? Like, they can't control what's being shown to them. What they're seeing. It's just like, oh, we're in the room. Like, I don't know. We'll cover their ears if they say a bad word. But what they're viewing is sexual assault. And how cool it is to be a sexual assaulter. How cool it is to be a perpetrator. Right? That's what you're watching. That's what a kid picks up. So when a kid's watching something like that, and then some guy does it, it's like, oh, this is what we're supposed to accept as normal in the culture. And then David Copperfield's like, oh yeah, I'm going to make you grab my butt. It's all jokes. Ha ha. Just like the guys are laughing, right? So that's 1982. That's 1982. Here's my middle finger to who didn't go to the cops. The question is, why didn't you, the public, and even, you could ask the parents, like, why the parents let this guy prey on their kid right in front of them? They could have filed a report, but, and they probably should have, because I blame the parents for this. But if they went to the cops in 82 or whenever right there, the cops would have pushed it off as being okay. They don't see anything wrong with the adult man making her do that. It's just part of the show. She could touch his butt. He could make her touch his butt. And they didn't use that thing grooming in 82. So part of the story with David Copperfield was grooming the little girls at 16. And there's still states that allow this crap to happen. But he was grooming these girls at 15, 16 and saying he's going to return back to them and do all these things. And then he goes back to them, and one of them, that was their first sexual experience. What I found weird in the Guardian thing is they go, oh, we had no idea, or it doesn't seem that he would know their ages. I'm like, well, that doesn't help him out any, because all it's saying is David Copperfield is attracted to children and he doesn't care. That makes him more reckless, right? But they continue that thing like it's somehow a defense or it somehow means something, because that whole thing is on an adult. And why are they going for young girls? So they're physically attracted to little kids. That's just it. And they made those laws for men because men made those laws. They go, because they're a bunch of pedophile rapists. So any person defending that needs to go get themselves therapy, because they obviously got groomed. I mean, you wouldn't defend it unless you got groomed, honey. I don't know who be, going on like that other than groomed women. And some of these old famous celebrities were promoting it because they were groomed women.